So who's going to Norwich in the quarter-finals? Will it be Forest or will it be Southampton? We'll find out now with Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Welcome to Nottingham, where Brian Clough's team contains good and bad news for Forest fans. Striker Nigel Jemson plays his first game at the City Ground since Boxing Day, but Steve Hodge is missing. His knee injury sustained at Southampton a week ago. There's a recall for Gary Crosby, left out at Luton on Saturday, and Gary Charles holds on to the right-back spot at the expense of Brian Laws. Jimmy Case is back from suspension to lead the Southampton challenge, and back to Matthew Le Tissier, who was rested on Saturday against Leeds United. Defender Kevin Moore picked up a hamstring injury in that match, but Southampton do have a very experienced replacement in Russell Osman. Joe Worrell is the referee, as he was at the Dell last Monday. The pitch is in very good condition indeed. Designed, Forest hope, to suit their passing game. The two Nigels at the kick-off. And Andy Gray, good evening to you. Who's your money on?
I certainly do feel that Forest are favourites, Martin. They've been very impressive in not giving up this competition easily, and I think the draw they got at Southampton, and Southampton's poor away record this season, makes Forest slight favourites.
Since the meeting last Monday, of course, Forest had lost the league game 1-0 on the synthetic surface at Kenilworth Road, while Southampton were boosting their spirits by beating Leeds United at the Dell by 2-0. The scorers, Paul Rideout, and as a reward for that display and the way he played on his return against Forest, is to keep his place at the expense of Alan Shearer, who's one of the Southampton substitutes tonight. Jason Dodd, so Rideout going for the header, but beaten by Chettle. Well, Osman straight away announcing his return to Southampton's colours, getting a talking to.
The amount of times defenders are told in a cup time out and then around the halfway line, let them know you're around early on. That's experience showing through from Russell Osman.
Forest really channeling all their energies into the FA Cup now. Their league form has been very disappointing. In fact, they're now only one place above Southampton. Jimmy Case with a back pass there that showed a little rustiness. That controversial sending off at Manchester United in the Rumbelows League Cup. It still hurts Southampton a great deal. They believe that there was an injustice there.
I do think Chris Nicholls' selection tonight, you mentioned the return of Matthew Le Tissier after being rested on Saturday, but I think that the way he played last week in the occupying Stuart Pearce and stopping and going forward, it was only really after Le Tissier went off that Pearce was able to run free and actually created the equalising goal. And I think that he'll be wanting Le Tissier to pose problems to Stuart Pearce tonight.
Le Tissier's cross, and it was completely missed by Charles, miscontrolled by Wallace, and then flashed wide by Cockerill. And really, Southampton already have had a couple of chances. It was an awkward ball from Le Tissier.
But Rodney Wallace will be disappointed, Martin, as it comes over. That's a clear chance for him, and he's a better player than that control showed. And Glenn Cockerill's just a bit unlucky.
Le Tissier had a long spell out, more than a month, from an injury sustained playing against Forest in the league game at the Dell in January. Parker, who's done well in the FA Cup run, with important goals against Crystal Palace and Newcastle. Le Tissier sweeps it in again, and Walker got there this time. Wallace coming in from the left. Really being tracked very well by the opposition. Here's Francis Benali. Oh, and it's Wallace. Oh, inside of the post. The player who hit the underside of the bar in the closing seconds at at the Dell last Monday, and he's wrapped the inside of the frame of the goal again here. And Nottingham Forest, who've had plenty of good fortune, as well as playing plenty of good football in their lengthy cup run this season, were mighty lucky here.
You wonder how long the good fortune will last. Nothing wrong with this finish. It's great control, and Brian Clough's work continues.
They won't be content about Nottingham Forest, all their supporters, is the way Southampton have opened them up. And Charles there, rather nervily conceding a corner. Wasn't strictly necessary. So Letitia to take it. Osman making a late run, right out going to the near post. Here comes Ruddock off the line. It was Gary Parker guarding the post, and Forest not heeding the warning of a week ago. Great leap by Ruddock. Natural spring. I suppose that's why you put players on the post.
But if you watch the Forest players, the trouble is they're going from a standing jump, and Ruddock is running in, and they can be excused for thinking it's not their day.
Misjudged it. And he cleared it as far as Roy Keane. Parker coming in, field from the left. Trying to keep a run going and scoring in every round.
Is Neil Ruddock really guilty of 2 errors? He should really have cleared his lines instead of trying to keep it in play. And you can't allow Parker that kind of space from there. He's capable of scoring from that range.
Parker operating on the left of a 4-man Forest midfield with Keane and Wilson in the centre, Crosby on the right. Oh, and Wallace will get this. Surely a goal for Southampton. A mistake by Walker. It's no more than Southampton deserve. But a most unusual error from a usually impeccable defender.
Yes, no surprise about the goal, Martin, but certainly a surprise about Des Walker's error. The spin in the ball just upsets him, but Wallace has been looking very sharp and finishes it excellently.
14 minutes it took Southampton to score. Rodney Wallace, who scored here in the league game in September, but Southampton lost it 3-1 then. They're ahead in the FA Cup.
Well, I suppose he will feel that's just reward after hitting the crossbar last week, hitting the post already tonight. Rodney Wallace will feel justified that that one has gone in.
Andy, I think we did detect arriving here that Forest weren't over-confident about the way this match might go. They respected Southampton's attacking ability, and they've certainly not dealt with it thus far with any conviction at all.
I think you're right. Yeah, they have been concerned all year, Martin, about the defensive record. It hasn't been what we expect from Forest. And you're right, they were concerned about the attacking trio of Southampton. And I think already we've seen that that fear was justified.
Cockerell, right out. It's been a most stylish beginning by Chris Nicholls' team.
What I think Southampton and Chris Nicol, the manager, will know as well, that one goal I don't think will be enough from them. With the record, Martin, you feel that Southampton must go forward searching for another.
That's a push by right out. Pearce looks for Jemson. That's suiting the strengths of Ruddock. Nice control by right out. Neat play from him. Wallace posing the problem through the middle again. And it's a corner. And Nottingham Forest here are shaking in their boots. Rodney Wallace is terrifying them with his turn of speed.
And he's playing against two of the quickest players in Forest. Des Walker and Gary Charles are not short on pace, Martin, but you're quite right. Rodney Wallace coming in from the angle is causing him all sorts of problems.
Well, Ruddock will be hopeful again here. And it's in for him. It's a corner.
You know what you have to do in that situation, Martin? You have to get someone near, someone like Neil Ruddock, and just jump up with him and make sure he doesn't get a clean header on the ball. That's what you have to do. You can't allow him a clear run the way they have been doing and hope to beat him in the air, because he does climb very well.
This time Osman and Wallace have got into the goal area. Ruddock again coming from deep. Right out, gets to a second header for Southampton. Forward by Benali. Here's Jemson in the right-back position for a moment. Osman. Well, there must be a temptation to look for Rodney Wallace every time. There were one or two other options available to Glenn Cockerell then, including striding on himself to shoot. And having scored a truly delicious goal against Leeds with a steered-in volley on Saturday, one would perhaps have expected him to go on and try his own luck then. But Wallace is almost dictating the shape of the match. Ruddock. Here's Keane. Walker, right out working across the line to try and stop Forest settling to their natural passing game. Touched off by Wilson. Parker. This goes outside and Parker used him as a decoy. Jensen setting his sights. Deflected too dangerously from the Southampton point of view. Well, that was aimed by Cockerell for Letizia. It's a good idea. And Pearce has got back now. Big crowd at the City Ground, trying to help out their team in a time of need. Forest get a corner. Should be Tim Flowers. Southampton are going to make a substitution. Alan Shearer, who missed out a week ago because of food poisoning. Lost a fair bit of weight because of that as well. Played against Leeds on Saturday, though. And Paul Rideout, I think, has strained a muscle, which is really disappointing from his personal point of view. Chance to establish himself. Make the change until the ball goes out. – 20 minutes gone, and the unlucky Rideout departs, but Shearer, the ideal replacement, and a striker who's done most of his business really in the cup ties this season. He scored 11 goals for Southampton, only one in the First Division.
Yes, I'm just looking at Paul Rideout about 5 minutes earlier, Martin, when one of the corners was coming over and he was stretching his groin. Very unusual when you're 20 minutes into a game. So it may be that he's just pulled his groin a little bit, and that's why he's had to go. It is unfortunate because I know Forest, the players particularly, were very impressed with him last week. And that's a blow. But hasn't Chris Nicholl been fortunate that he's lost two key players, but he's had two players like Russell Osman and Alan Shearer, two quality players to come in his place. That's fortunate for him.
and confirmation from down in the dugout that it is a groin strain for Rideout. Here's Pierce. The Forest captain trying to set an example here. Southampton, although they're not short of numbers, and Pierce damaged in that courageous attempt to force the ball across the face of the goal. Gentle. Wilson. And again, the speed of Wallace coming to Southampton's aid on that occasion by earning a free kick, which will give them a chance to re-establish some order at the back.
But even in that little piece of action, Martin, couldn't you see how nervy Southampton are when they're asked to really defend? Not convincing at all, and that's why you do feel that they have to go looking for another one. And I think Forest, as long as it stays 1-0, will be pretty confident that they can cause them problems and get back in it.
Have been behind in the previous rounds to Crystal Palace and to Newcastle, and extricated themselves.
And Southampton last week.
Here's Jensen. Crosby. Jensen can turn. Southampton really shouldn't have allowed him to do that. Beaten back by Flowers. Charles off the line. Jason Dodd standing by the post then. Well, I don't think Jensen could believe how much room he was given in the first place. Parker. Now Clough. Southampton starting to creak a little. Might have collected, but of course the risk for Forest is they might be punished by their own favourite trick. Break out. The most eventful opening 25 minutes, which has seen Southampton take the lead, but lose Paul Rideout to injury. Shearer. An early cross from Ben Ali. Cockrell. Here's Parker. Jensen intelligently went ahead of him. Parker herring through the middle. And Ruddock sweeping it back in a way that Flowers, well, he had to run a long way. Let's have another look at this.
This is where Jensen, he makes his space himself, and Tim Flowers doesn't put it wide, he just palms it back, and I think it's Charles who comes in, and Dodd just knocks it off the line. But that little spell, if Forest needed a confidence booster, that will certainly have given them it.
Here's Crosby. Clough and Jensen making their way into the centre, and Crosby losing his way rather on the right. Certainly worth Shearer applying the pressure then, given the number of mistakes that Forest have made defensively so far. Joe Worrell played a useful pass then. It's a nice touch by Clough to Crosby. Charles. A lot of players forward for Forest, although Jensen has come out of the pack to try and turn creator. Pearce is out of position. This was something we saw a lot of at the Dell, but fortunately for Forest, Le Tissier didn't have a good night then. More on song now. Matthew Le Tissier, with the type of run that's become his trademark. Until it came to the shot.
That's Matthew Le Tissier at his very, very best, isn't it? You think he's going nowhere, but just watch this. He gets it in his mind, there's a gap between them, and he's got the pace, he's got the confidence to do it, and he'll be a little bit disappointed he just didn't finish better.
And the team here that don't like to force the pace, really, Nottingham Forest, are having to do that. That will encourage them, though. There's signs of chaos around the Southampton goal.
One thing it won't encourage him, will encourage Southampton. That's Nigel Jemson, 5 yards in his own half, making a 40-yard ball forward. I know they like to play total football, but I'd like to see that young man up front looking for goals.
Keane's header. Swept away by Ruddock. Wallace after some strong work by Shearer. Southampton really do have the luxury in attack of just letting Wallace and Le Tissier do their own thing. Now they're going to have to go back and help defend at the corner. The ball skimming off the long locks of Russell Osman. And it's a quickly taken Forest corner. Chettle. In from Clough. Benali should be first to this. And Crosby's done well enough to block it and divert the ball infield. Parker. Almost too many Southampton players there. Wilson. That's Pearce. Crosby heads it back. They appeal for a penalty. The linesman is flagging a penalty. It is for handball. Southampton are livid. Steve Williams, the linesman on the far side, gave the signal straight away. He flagged and then he put the arm across the chest to advise the referee. Now, Nigel Jemson had the penalty job before he was injured, and he's got it back again. Pearce pulling Osman away. He might have been trying a bit of gamesmanship then. In the FA Cup, it's a crucial penalty for Forest, and Jemson does the job. 1-1.
Well, it's certainly controversial, but who is it again that contributes? It's Stuart Pearce. Wonderful shot, but watch Gary Crosby and Francis Benali. It's very difficult. You can see Joe Worrell's very close and doesn't give it, but the linesman's flag went up right away.
With the benefit of a second look, we see a penalty again here. But a look at that incident, it did look harsh on Benali, who was very close to Crosby. And the referee and linesman working in tandem then to give the decision. But here's Rodney Wallace with the right of reply.
I have to agree with you, Martin. I thought it was a harsh decision at the time, and the replay changed nothing.
Cockerell brought down by Jemson. go to half-time. And the first half of some real frustration for Nottingham Forest is coming to a more satisfactory end. Or is it? Ruddock is causing havoc in there again. Well, Tim Flowers was able to beat away that cross shot from Pearce. Crosby was heading for goal. Benali in the way, illegally ruled the linesman first and foremost. Tissier stretching a leg. Osman. Well, it was a header more a cross goal from Pearce than he would have liked. Pace a little slow to set the sights. Jemson. So Royal, let's play go on. Keane. The flow of the game, but certainly getting the opposing supporters bellowing their anger at him. An attempted foul, shall we say. Wallace. They try to build off Shearer, and Cockerell rather left that to Horn, who was expecting Cockerell to take it. Ruddock. Said earlier that Paul Rideout doesn't feel happy playing between Wallace and Le Tissier, but Shearer certainly does. It suits his style. Crosby checks Benali. Ruddock hesitates. Southampton deal with the danger. Cockerell halted in midfield by Wilson. We've had a minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. The first half that you haven't been able to take your eye off, nor have you wanted to do so. Whole host of chances, and Pearce trying to end it in style.
He's quite amazing, Stuart Pearce. He gets into positions that no normal left-back should get into. He really does have somewhat of a free role in this Forest side, and it's no surprise when you see what he contributes attacking-wise to his side. But you're right, it's been a pulsating first half.
And it is half-time at the City Ground. 1-1 at the Dell a week ago, 1-1 at half-time here. Rodney Wallace gave Southampton a swift start, but Brian Clough's team hit back, and Nigel Jemson got his first goal for 4 months. He's been out with injury, of course, from the penalty spot, a decision that Southampton weren't happy about. Handball given against Francis Benali. Southampton start the second half, I'm sure still aggrieved at the way their lead was taken from them. A penalty that Nottingham Forest certainly made the most of. Rain has been falling heavily during the half-time break. Here's Shearer. Benali. Shearer jumping with Walker. Cockerell is one of the best volleyers around, but Forrest stopped him getting a sight of goal then. It's a very astute header by Clough. Here's Wilson. And the lift that Forest got from the equaliser disturbed Southampton from the good things that they were putting together for much of the first half. Neil Ruddock's threat at corners was part of the plan. But Rodney Wallace, Andy, was a major threat.
Yes, but I do think the goal is a major blow to Southampton, who I think, had they got to half-time, would have gone in and would have been full of confidence in their ability to hold out. And I think it certainly will have lifted Brian Clough's team.
Walker, who will be particularly pleased that his mistake hasn't turned out to be the deciding factor in this game. Clough. For Jemson, now Wilson, and that's Clough. Keane. Well, it was a fusillade of shots, but Southampton never really getting tight enough on the opposition, so close to their own goal.
The Tim Flower's not really helping here, Martin. If you're a goalkeeper, and I know it's wet and slippery, don't palm it out in front of your goals. Got to try and palm it to the side.
Wilson's header. Clough showing he can tackle as well. Pearce, a characteristic show of enterprise. In the end, couldn't really get away with all that against Dodd.
He doesn't beat players. He doesn't beat players, Stuart Pearce, does he? He just runs through them. Don't they love him at the City Ground here?
Well, it's good to see that Stuart Pearce is much more a public figure these days, having dropped his own private ban on giving interviews, and I must say we're delighted to have the opportunity to talk to him.
And I think a sensible decision. Someone as popular as Stuart Pearce should always be accessible, and I think it's only right that he's decided to be so.
Letitia. Clough winning it back for Forest again. Charles. Wilson going forward from midfield. In fact, he's furthest forward for Forest here. Mistake by Osman, which Crosby took advantage of. And again, Southampton so anxious to try and get to the ball, and they're getting in each other's way. Parker. Thumped it behind, pretty close to that near post. After almost daintily, Gary Parker was picking away to the byline. He takes the corner. Chettle flicks it on. Wilson volleys! He doesn't want to stretch those legs too much because he's had a lot of hamstring trouble this season, hence the cycling shorts.
He's unlucky though. It's one of those that drops to you and you know you can't get much power in it, and all you try and do is hook it back and get it on target. Certainly Terry Wilson was close to doing just that. But it's been a good, positive start from Forest. Far better than the first half start.
You sense that Southampton needs some stout hearts here. Some of the players, understandably, will be wondering just what might befall at the back. And if they can reimpose their own qualities on the game, it's getting desperately difficult. Parker's away, Crosby to the right. Clough is there as well. Parker tries for goal. He always looks excessively calm when he does get an opportunity to try and beat the opposing goalkeeper. It's a long run.
And he's unlucky in that he doesn't look up just now, because look at Gary Crosby on the right there. Makes a wonderful run. Gary Parker doesn't see him and goes it alone.
Well, he might not have wanted to see him. But this is very different from the way the first half started, when there were a succession of Southampton chances. Responsible between them for leaving Jemson down on the ground. This is how Jemson was hurt. He's had hamstring trouble. Pearce coming across, the foot was raised in there. Steve Chettle it was. Well, it's a ground here that's really got its own identity, regarded in football very much as Brian Clough's patch. Local history is always referred to. The team run out to the strains of the Robin Hood theme, by Sherwood Forest, of course.
This is not quite rocky, is it?
And they're not exactly trying to rob the rich to give to the poor either. That's Shearer's back header. The conviction in Southampton's attack at the moment, though. Well met by Osman. There was no escaping if he'd not got to the ball. Wallace, Shearer, Pearce is going to be booked. Shearer lured him in then, quite cleverly.
Yes, he beats him very, very well this year. You see that, he's through for pace. I don't think Joe Worrell's got any doubts about booking him there. I don't think Stuart Pearce can have any complaints.
Alan Shearer, who's made his mark with the England under-21 side this season. Case to take the free kick. And as you'd expect, Ruddock has arrived. And behind him is Osman. Minutes gone in the second half. This FA Cup fifth round replay. Nottingham Forest 1, Southampton 1. Jemson beat Ruddock to it to set up a chance for Clough, who gives it to Wilson.
Well, again, Southampton's defence is parted like a knife through butter here. And just when you think Clough is going to take it on his own, Terry Wilson's just stretching too much and doesn't get the power in his shot.
First again, but Osman that time wasn't going to be denied. Cockrell just trying to tease it beyond Gary Charles then. tailor the pass for Rodney Wallace. The crowd enjoyed Charles' success there. There's an opponent there fearing in this game. Osman. Gets to it again, and on the advice of the linesman. It's a Forest throw off Wallace. Rescue by Benali. Case going in with plenty of force. Horn hoping to find the right channel there for Shearer. How the crowd respond when Pearce goes forward. He's produced the dividend for them so often. Involved in the equaliser again here. 10 goals he's scored already this season from left-back. Here's Parker. Southampton will have to look left here, Letitia, and maybe now Wallace was starting to go through the centre. Cockrell, game strung out for a moment. Dodd. Shearer, Letitia. There's still plenty of strength left from Southampton.
What gives him the chance, though, is his magnificent first touch as it comes over. But not only that, he knows he can't get a shot on it, and he tries to dink, and he's not far away. Just a little reminder to Forest there that Southampton still pose a threat attacking-wise, I think.
Just as much Southampton's season that's on the line here as it is for Forest. And now only 3 points separate these two sides in the league. We've been talking about Southampton as maybe slipping into relegation trouble. Forest will need to find a few more points yet. About his ability. He's perhaps more transfers than otherwise would have occurred.
To be fair to him there, though, I do think that was a genuine clash of heads as they've both gone for the ball, and Nigel Jameson's just beaten them to it.
Maybe it's because Ruddock just looked so mean. See why Southampton want to hold on to Rodney Wallace, whose contract is up at the end of the season. They've already lost, of course, the senior member of the family, Danny, to Manchester United. Although perhaps they will feel that they were well rewarded in the transfer fee. Parker. Pearce. It was nearly a calamity right on the line. Flowers is furious because he felt studs were showing then. But Nigel Clough, who gets such a hammering, laid the ball off there magnificently. Yeah, and it's Pearce again who makes a wonderful foraging run. But watch this for a clearance from Benali. That's a certain goal if he doesn't get that. They get a bit of luck, but they've deserved it. What a sweet move from Forest, though. Typical, isn't it, the way they use Nigel Clough. There's a little wall there for Stuart Pearce just to come on to. Yes, they're a few better at bringing other players into the play. Here he is again. Plenty of options to his right. It's Charles who takes it on. Crosby. Forest throw. Had a very, very interesting hour here at the City Ground. Shearer. At least Southampton just given the chance to draw breath. Chris Nicol will always tell you about his team, but he always fancies them to score.
No use scoring 2 or 3, Martin, if you know that you're also going to let in 3 or 4. And I think that's been the story of the season.
He's need to fight hard. Threading through to Keane. He kept his balance well, and the ball. Charles. From Benali, and Jemson was grateful for that. Everyone back for Southampton. This is Crosby. Maybe now Southampton can see something here from inside their own half. Shearer. Tissier had to turn, and the ball was lost in any case. Even so, Forest been able to cover the danger. Pierce taken down after the ball had gone by guess who. He'll be 37 by the end of the season, Jimmy Case. It's a great tribute to him that he's still going at this level of the game. Clough took it on the half turn and was able to accomplish the full turn. Keane, Crosby, Clough tried to flick it in. Just, but that was enough. His second.
And Nigel Clough's wonderful ability that creates it. Wonderful control, opens it up. Roy Keane releases Gary Crosby early, and all he does is plays it across. And I don't think Nigel Jemson can believe this goes in. Surprise on his face.
Well, 18 minutes into the second half, Forest really began the evening as strong favourites, having survived a scare at Southampton. But it's taken them all this time to get in front. Gary Crosby played his part. Clough might have scored himself, having been the architect of the attack. Jemson, who steered it towards that far post as we look. Flowers seemed to have it covered, but it squirmed away and over the line.
Just instinct from Nigel Jemson, Martin. It arrived at him so quickly and so late. If we just watch it again as it comes across, that's a lovely first-time ball that releases Crosby. But watch it, Nigel Jemson doesn't really see it. It's half a poke. Really, looking at that again, goalkeeper should save that.
So Southampton now have got to draw on all their self-belief. They began the match at a cracking pace, with this man very much centre stage. Can he lift them to get back level again? Or is it going to be the replay route to progress for Forest once more? On a hat-trick now. When we came here, and we came here often enough during the Crystal Palace saga, one of the sadder sights, apart from waterlogged pitches and fog coming down from everywhere, was Nigel Jemson's face, because he had damaged his hamstring on more than one occasion. The injury was really the first serious one he'd had in his career. But he's playing a major role now.
You can see already what he's brought back to Forest. I think one thing they lacked when he was out was a genuine pace up front. and he certainly showed that tonight, and he's been lively, he's been bright. He's looked like a player who's been out for a while, Martin, and he's shown a hunger for the game. When you've been out of the game for a few months, that hunger's there, and he's certainly showing that.
He wants the ball everywhere. Of course, he had a long wait when he was first signed by Brian Clough to even have the chance to prove that he was a Forest first-team performer. But already on his career record is a winning goal at Wembley in the League Cup last season. Clough. Oh, and Parkman's onside. Oh. Osman. And now really Forest have got Southampton where they like the opposition, having to come at them so that they can play on the break, just like this. Now who will Pearce look for in the middle? It's Jensen! It's the hat-trick! No wonder the arms are raised. Forest see the quarter-final now, and it's been a virtuoso performance from a striker who stepped from the shadows right back into the limelight.
And we're running out of superlatives for this number 3 of Forest. Magnificent run, but just watch how he looks up. There you are, Nigel. There's your hat-trick, son.
And Pearce, who needs no second invitation to arrive in this sort of position, and has the composure, he's been there so often to do the right thing. And it's absolute joy for Jemson.
There's a few heads down in the Southampton team now, Martin. They really have got to pick themselves up.
Well, Southampton thought that was going to be given as a goal kick. It's going to be a free kick to Forest, run by Jemson. Not be satisfied with 3. But Crosby with the second cross. Horn wanting Shearer to collect it to feet. Horn's gone for the return pass, and Shearer's found him. Well, there's an offside being given in the centre. Sometimes you wonder about the interfering with play interpretation. Rodney Wallace looks totally perplexed at that. We're seeing all the Forest fire now. Southampton in a position that's all too unhappily familiar for them in away matches. Here comes Pearce. Shearer. A drop on Chettle, but wasn't fouled, said Joe Worrell. And it's very difficult for Southampton to defend on that far side in particular. All sorts of different problems being posed to them. We saw Pearce a few seconds ago, followed by Parker.
Just thinking of this Forest side, man, they've known teams throughout the years who have exceptional midfield players, exceptional wingers, exceptional strikers who they've relied on to get them back in games. I've never known a left back be relied upon to get a side back into games as often as Stuart Pearce is relied upon. It really is quite magnificent to be able to do it time and time again from his position.
I don't know where he gets the tempo from. I know he listens to a lot of heavy metal music. Maybe we should investigate that angle.
I'm going out tomorrow to buy half a dozen LPs in that case. I could do with some of that energy.
Now, whether Letitia was deputed to go with him, only Chris Nicholl knows, but certainly on the turning point, the incident that led to the penalty, Pearce was allowed to run free on the left. Nobody sorted him out for Southampton. But I'm sure when they come to analyse the outcome here, they would recognise the fine show that Nottingham Forest are putting on in the second half. But what would have happened if the penalty hadn't been given?
The fact about the penalty, Martin, I do believe though, and I know it's easy in hindsight with Forest with their tails up, I do believe that one would not have been enough for Southampton, and I do think Forest eventually would have broken through. It's perhaps just a bit unfortunate, maybe taking a little bit of the gloss off the performance, that it was a controversial decision that's got them back in the game.
And it was a penalty that got Nigel Jemson scoring again. The strings now. Case. Walker's header away, back from Cockerill. And Wallace having to watch things now, rather than winning the ball as he was in the first half. Case still with the effortless power in that right foot. Surprised if Des Walker gets caught out again. Letitia. Plenty of movement for Forest when they do have the ball on the break. Head in anguish then, his own mistake. Pearce pumping forward again. Is he going to get one himself? Only, I think, if he can shoot with the right or with the left foot. And he was doing all the controlling of the ball with the left then. Already had a look to see what was on around him. Crosby. Slipping Benali.
There's so many good things you can say about Forest, Martin, the beliefs in the game, the way they play it. I mean, the passing's quite magnificent. The one thing for me that sticks out more than anything is the way the players run off the ball. They really are quite selfish in that respect. They will run and run and run all day for the team.
And for the manager to try and bring in the FA Cup at long last. But there's nothing easy about going to Norwich City in the 6th round. Manchester United will tell you all about that. Here's Crosby. Charles. And Forest know the pain of losing in the semi-final of the FA Cup. It's happened to several of these players twice over the last 3 years. So they won't be taking anything for granted.
Worst time ever to lose a cup tie, Martin. I mean, I've suffered that. I lost in semi-finals. I've lost a final as well, but there's nothing quite like losing a semi-final. It must be the worst place of all to be defeated.
Liam O'Kane on his feet. There's a family here at Forest with people like Liam O'Kane and Archie Gemmill, former players on the coaching staff. Well, you could see what Nigel Clough was trying to do. Minutes to go. Southampton struck first here, but they're sliding out of the FA Cup unless their inspirational attackers can hit the right note in the limited time that remains.
Certainly, if there's a team who possess attackers to do it, then it is this Southampton team, Mark. But you feel that even if they scored two, Forest are capable of going and getting another.
Well, Southampton have a corner. It's tie that Brian Clough recognising that there's still an instruction or two to pass on. A tie that started with a Neil Ruddock header. A right-wing Southampton corner. Inside 2 minutes at the Dell. Crossley dealing with that just as Forest would have wanted. Ben Ali. Miscue by Chettle. Cockerell still sticking to his task. Caught out by Osman. Shearer letting fly. Letitia, one of those sweet turns. Crowded out by Forest. Here they come on the break again. Roy Keane is all relatively new to this, we must remember. At 19, it's been a remarkable first season for him. He was bought from the south of Ireland, really just to bolster the squad. But he's been a regular since the early games of the season. Pearce. In a way, we must thank Forest for having so many draw games. It's given us an opportunity to see them turn on the style. Here comes Cockerell, fed by Letizier's header. Corner to Southampton. 9 minutes to go.
And they certainly haven't given up. They've thrown men forward in the hope of maybe snatching one and giving Forest a nervy 7 or 8 minutes at the end.
Shearer closest to it for Southampton. And while the corner was about to be taken, Liam O'Kane came onto the touchline to yell something to Nigel Clough to pass on. Try and see Forest through this finale without undue anxiety.
Well, certainly after doing everything right from when they went a goal down, Martin, Liam O'Kane and Brian Clough were very conscious of the fact that they don't want to give a goal away now and risk having that last 5 minutes of nerve-jangling time.
Wilson. Rocked by Case. Fraser. And Walker for Crosby, right into his stride. But Gary Crosby was looking to see what was on in the centre. Jemson doing likewise. Clough coming for a short pass. Wilson coming from deeper. Southampton looking very weary now. And Osman happy just to get it up to the halfway line. The ball was out. Of 26,000, showing again that Monday night is a pretty popular night for football.
You put this wonderful game of ours on any night, Martin, you'll get people watching it.
We'd like to put it on every night, of course. Le Tissier. Well, you feel that Forest don't need to do too much more now, other than be professional and maintain their application. It's in their nature to ease off on the break if they get the opportunity. Face against Crosby. It was quite easy to pick the winner of that one.
Slight mismatch, I think, there.
Henry Crosby took the wise course. Le Tissier. No foul. Jemson. Well anticipated by Osman. He's got to be careful, he's been booked. He was apologising to Juttle. Intercepted. And then was fouled. Southampton will try to take the free kick quickly. But Joe Worrell making sure that everything is done properly here, from the right place. Well, it wouldn't be easy for Forest if Southampton found the second goal here. Firmer contact from Osman, and it might have arrived for them.
Contact from anyone in that situation could have proved costly to Forest. You're right, there is a danger of thinking it's all over now, the work's been done and we're through to the next round. Well, yeah, 6 or 7 minutes to go, there's always a chance.
Ruddock's header, Shearer. Here's Keane. It played early. Crosby momentarily got in the way. Horn. Benali. From Horn again. Dispossessed by Keane. He in turn by Cockrell. And now Wallace. Come across the line of defenders then. He uses Le Tissier. Try one, but it's just a lazy swing of the leg, really. Trying to impart some extravagant curve, perhaps, to a gap on the far side. Here's Pearce. Clough getting the run of the ball against Dodd. Poking the pass behind Parker. Chettle's header. It's Terry Wilson, who was bumped in the the back by Case.
Well, he may be approaching 37, Martin, but he's certainly let a few of these youngsters know that he's still involved in this game.
Jimmy Case, who played in the FA Cup final for Liverpool, scored a goal against Manchester United, but was a loser then. Was a loser for Brighton. So against United, of course, at Wembley. It's not going to be another trip to Wembley for him in Southampton's colours. Unless Southampton can score twice in the last 2 minutes.
I think even the most optimistic of Southampton supporters will find that hard.
Ruddock had to be absolutely sure then, with Jemson around. Similar situation where Walker was caught out for Southampton's goal. How the perspective has changed for them since since the incident 3 minutes before half-time. What perhaps will disappoint Chris Nicholl even more than that decision was the way Forest have been able to dominate the second half, but even at 1-1. And as Andy has been saying, the feeling here Forest would score was the inevitable one. But with the job done, one or two little late mistakes coming in, as players perhaps start to wonder what they're going to be doing after the game. Case. Wallace. Now Shearer, a chance. With, 3 players in the centre for Southampton. Shearer's cross avoided them all. And the Forest fans inviting Joe Worrell to blow the final whistle. He tries to pacify them by having a look at his watch.
It's been an excellent team performance from Forest. It's usually their strength is usually based on how well they play as a team. It's been sprinkled with good individual performances as well. Stuart Pearce, Nigel Jemson, Nigel Clough in particular, 3 who have played excellently tonight. And I think Brian Clough will be a happy and satisfied man tonight that his team have taken his personal dream one step forward.
Two replays against Crystal Palace. They needed 1 replay against Newcastle, a replay here. They've been working overtime, have Forest. But they're not buckling. And they're trying to give their fans a real flourish at the end with Crosby. Jemson in danger of getting in his way. Here's Parker. Now Keane. Clough pulling out on the left. And for once, Pearce conspicuous by his absence. In a holding position on the halfway line. Well, you can see there who was a winner in this game and who was a loser. Walker able to deal with it without any alarm. Forest are certainly taking the long way round, but they are arriving at their next stop on the road they hope will lead them to Wembley. It will go down here for Brian Clough as Nigel Jemson's match. A hat-trick from the returning striker, but the key one, the first one, from the penalty spot. Decision that Southampton regard as harsh. Handball given against Francis Benali at a crucial stage just before half-time, with Southampton leading through Rodney Wallace. But in the second half, Forest turned on the style, and Jemson added his second and his third. Southampton's season, one now of consolidation of their First Division status. But Nottingham Forest are off on Saturday to Norwich for their next FA Cup challenge, and no shortage of confidence for that trip either after a 6-2 win at Carrow Road in the league at the turn of the year. Again, they've reaped their rewards here in a replay, beating Southampton by 3 goals to 1.
Living here, it was always sad to see you because you were in the middle of those hamstring problems, but it's very different and nice to see a smile on your face tonight.
Yeah, it's taken a long time coming, but yeah, it's frustrating when you're sitting up in the stand watching the lads perform, but they've done superbly up to now, and hopefully we can keep the run going.
Did you feel that you're back to your full fitness going into this game?
Hard question, really. You know, I've been out for so long. It's taken a little time, but you know, I'm getting there slowly.
Chris, 1-0 up, 3 minutes to go to half-time, and it's looking quite good for your team, and then a penalty. Your reaction to that?
I'd like to see it again because it looked point blank as though the lad headed it straight at Franny Benali. It looked to be... Franny was running to the ball, it looked like just a natural reaction. It was almost headed down his throat. A little suspicious of it. It looked like the officials were very keen to give it, and I didn't like that too much. And that was disappointing, yeah, because it went in and it changed the game at half-time, obviously. Though we still should have been better, should have done better second half.
Yes, it was the linesman, really, who seemed to influence the award of the penalty mostly.
That's right. I don't know whether he was nearer than the referee, but it was certainly on his side. Yeah, harsh one, I think. I think it has to be a harsh one, but if the officials are looking for it, then they'll find it.
And now you go to Norwich in the quarter-finals on Saturday, where Forest had their biggest win of the season.
That's right, it was one of the games where I've missed through injury, so, you know, we're hoping to get a proper result down there again and progress through to the semis.
Well, very diplomatic Chris Nicholl there. Was that a penalty? We'll ask Frank McClintock in just a moment or two.
Play for. West Ham are going to have to dig deep and give everything they've got if they're going to get past Everton on a roll. Dave Watson decided a classic fifth-round tie in the 12th minute. Will West Ham fall quickly to Kendall's boys? Find out live on the Sports Channel, the 11th of March at 7:30.
Well, amid that interesting array of bicycle shorts tonight, was that a fair result, Frank, do you think?
Yeah, in the end, actually. I was just down for the game to finish it at the end because we had a lot of excitement in the first half, a good bit of excitement in the first part of the second half, and then after it was 3-1, it was sort of finished and you couldn't see Southampton coming back at all.
What about the first 20 minutes or so? Because there was only one team in it then, and it wasn't Forest.
No, Southampton were playing really well, and especially Wallace up front. I mean, he was a real flying machine, and he was causing all sorts of problems, and especially to somebody like Des Walker, who's extremely quick, probably the quickest or one of the quickest defenders in the whole of the British League. But he was just a flying machine tonight, and here he is, just ready to pounce on it. It was unfortunate, it bounced back at Des Walker and they couldn't get the pace on the header. And Wallace, only one or two players could have caught up there and made that a goal out of nothing.
So Southampton a goal to the good there until 3 minutes from half-time. And we heard what Chris Nicholl thought about this. What did you think?
I thought it was extremely harsh, actually, myself. When he heads it, he's probably a yard away from him. And what gets me is, if the referee has not given it, and he didn't give it, and the linesman gives it, I think that you should go over and at least discuss it with the linesman and say, what did you see, and don't you think it might have been too close, that he didn't really mean it?
Well, that Jemson converted the penalty, and then here's the second one.
Yeah, this is a lovely little boy. And I think that was meant for a back heel, but it certainly was a mistake by Flowers. He'll be bitterly disappointed with himself there. And that's one of the things that the goalkeepers have got nowhere to hide after they let a goal in like that.
So fitting, I suppose, there, that he completed his hat-trick with the best of the three.
Yeah, and this fella here, Pearce, I mean, he's just like a gladiator running down that wing at the moment, isn't he? And he takes up a terrific position, Jemson, here. He just stays back and just clips it in the corner and gives Flowers no chance for that one.
As an ex-manager yourself, what are your thoughts about Chris Nicholl? Was at great pains there not to throw any stones at any of the officials, really.
Yeah.
Is that the way you'd like managers to react in that situation?
Yeah, I think he tried to. I think he made his point, no, John. I think he made his point by saying if referees are prepared to give it, they will find a way of giving it. And that was a very nice way, without getting into trouble with the Football League, that
There's ways and ways, aren't there?
Yeah, you're away from home, and that will be a penalty. If that's at home, you don't get it. And he was very disappointed there, but he kept a smile on his face anyway. That's something.
Oh, I think we can see the penalty again, just one more time. And
yeah, that is Pearce again. Look, good save there by Flowers. The player turns round, hardly even knows where the ball is. He sort of tries to block his face more than anything else. And the ball, actually, I think the ball hit his face.
Funnily enough,
I didn't think it hit his arm at all. I actually think it hit his face. But why doesn't the referee go over and discuss it with the linesman? I mean, the referee was actually nearer than where the linesman was.
But it's Forest in the quarter-finals at Norwich, and in many ways, two similar teams.
Yeah, both teams are good football sides, and they pass the ball, and like Brian Clough always says, the grass is there to be passed on. And it should be a good game, but you never know how Norwich are going to play. They're a team sometimes that, when they get their act together, they're really exciting. It should be an interesting game.
That's one of the quarter-finals. Obviously, this, well, I'd say this coming weekend. In fact, it's obviously spread over 3 days with 2 matches on Saturday, 1 on Sunday and 1 on Monday. The other match on Saturday is Arsenal against Cambridge United. Arsenal for you?
Yes, I think so, because Cambridge United are a very direct side, big centre forwards, big centre halves, but Arsenal have also got that kind of players, only better players, and I think they'll go through there.
You can see those 2 matches at 6 o'clock here on BSB on Saturday. Spurs against Notts County, 8 o'clock on Sunday night. Spurs?
Yep, I think Spurs should do that. That'll be a hard game because Notts County have had a great season, but I think Spurs have got enough talent there to get through that next round.
And live here on Monday night, West Ham and Everton.
I actually think Howard Kendall will play the same way as he did against Liverpool and play the sweeper system and try and nullify the space in the room that West Ham thoroughly enjoy using. And I think they'll probably get a result there and get a draw and take them back to Everton.
And West Ham without Trevor Morley, of course, following that stabbing incident today, but we understand that he's comfortable in hospital at the moment. Now, we've got all that football happening here as far as the FA Cup's concerned, but as far as our Italian football next weekend is involved, well, we've got 2 wonderful matches. The top 4 clubs are in opposition. Juventus against Inter Milan. They produced 6 goals between them at the start of the season. Wouldn't mind 6 more this weekend. And the other match, Sampdoria against Milan, 2nd against 3rd. And who's to say that this match won't decide the destination of the League Championship this season? So a real feast of football for you here on the Sports Channel over the next week or so. So thanks for watching us this evening. The best of Italian football, the best of British football, and a real host of good matches for you to see in the next 3, 4, 5 days here on the Sports Channel. But it's certainly been Nigel Jempson's night. He'll be celebrating in Nottingham this evening. Goodbye.